right, it's been a long time coming. This is one of my Garage Queen Z32s. As you can see, the bumper's off, the hood's off. They were supposed to get painted in time for a track event, not happening. So we're gonna put the hood and the bumper back on, but finally getting some love after years of sitting. So this thing had Sport 500 turbos that were now, goodness, 21 years old, and they started smoking and they saw their share of abuse. This car was one of my good friends owned it, and I bought it from him in 2006. We actually did the build for him back when we were just using brand new Nissan short blocks. This was about 2003, 2002. And this thing was super fast, so much so that it beat his buddy's brand new 911 Turbo. It's 2004, and just this car definitely surprised a lot of people back in the day. Fast forward, I own it now. Been a while now, 20 years that I've owned it, and did a lot of the body work to it. It didn't look this pretty. It's a Porsche slate gray metallic color that's on this thing. It's painted about 2007, somewhere around there, and finally got a chance after about this thing sitting for 3-4 years to change turbos. So I had a good used set of super low mileage HKS 2530s. So those 2530s came out early 2000s, and they were the precursor really for the Disco Potatoes, the Garrett GT 2860 RSs that came out. You know, the sizes are identical. I believe, and I'm going off memory, I think the 2530s have one additional turbine blade than the Garrett 2860 RSs, which we all know as the Jim Wolf Sport 700s, Z1s, 2860 kits. So very, very common turbo. This is the 90% of the time we do any turbo upgrades on a Z32. It's that turbo. We'll do the Gen 2 GTXs, and we just use them because they're just badass turbos. They're really well matched for the VG30, and you can make a good amount of power. So that's why I'm using them, because I have those 2530s. This is a stock motor still, so stock bottom end. The heads have a little bit of port work to them, so they have been modified slightly. Stock valves, probably a valve job on it. When we put this thing together years ago, Steve, who used to own the car, provided us the heads. We got, at the time, a brand new Nissan short block for it. And back then it was making, you know, we were running race gas, 100 octane. We're making probably mid 4s to the tire with this thing. So, you know, back then it was a decent amount of power for a Z32. But anyways, fast forward, we've got a Haltech Pro plug-in in this thing. It is an automatic. I have it working. We have our flex fuel kit, basic stuff. And one thing that I just recently did, besides the 2530s, is we are trying a set of those AUS 1000cc side feed injectors. We had tried them, I don't know, maybe 6-7 years ago, and trying them again to see how well they are, if it's a viable option for our in-house customers. It's only been today since I've put them on, but idles really well, tuned really well, doing what they're supposed to. So I'm really happy. As long as they keep doing that, they don't fail and hydrolock the engine, we're good, and they stay consistent. But what I've got on this bad boy is our inlet piping kit. It's got a very early version of the intercooler pipe kit. We've got a dual pop on there with our dummy MAFs. I just removed the factory MAFs off this bad boy today. You know, it had been running a stock ECU with a Selene translator, and I figured, okay, it's time to get rid of those N62 MAFs, don't need them. Factory recircs are in there. Intercoolers, I haven't changed them out to ours yet. They are probably the V2 Ash Massives that are on there. It's been a long time. Our boost is being controlled by the Haltech. We've got our lightweight battery kit in there, and I'm running a Braille lithium ion battery, so it's super light. This car is fairly stripped down. There is no air conditioning, there is no stereo in it, there is no heater core, so there's a lot of stuff that's been removed. Of course, the HICUS as well, that's all gone to make this thing pretty lightweight. But yeah, let's go on to what this thing did. So we have our dyno chart of what it did before with the Haltech setup on E85 with our Nismo 740s and Sport 500s. It does have, let me just go backwards here a little bit. It does have the MSP exhaust manifolds, our full 3-inch exhaust all the way back. And it's actually using our new updated Fed cats. And that's what we made power on today to show you how good those cats are. Got our cam trigger kit, got rid of the CAS. Of course, with a standalone, you can use our cam trigger kit, and it's been working flawlessly throughout the entire day. So it's been on for a couple of years under testing, but now that we're pushing a little bit more power, it's done really well. But in any case, we did 520 wheel 7 years ago with the V2 Pro Plug-in Sport 500 combination. Pretty good power out of a automatic car. It has our built automatic, and that's gonna soak up quite a bit more power than a traditional automatic, especially the newer automatics, because we have a lot of line pressure, and that's gonna rob a little bit more power. Today, after a little bit of manipulating the fuel system, we had to put a Hellcat fuel pump in it, and then to get it to flow what we needed, we wired 12 volts to the Hellcat pump. The factory wiring is just not good enough to get everything you need, especially out of that high draw fuel pump. With that being said, we got our boost up, peaked about 28 pounds of boost. Again, stock motor, 664 wheel and 623 foot-pounds of torque out of this VG30. So you can do it. This thing, hopefully, if everything works out, I'm gonna be taking it to the track in a couple of days, if the weather holds out for us. And then we'll do a little bit of testing and tuning, trying to get that launch dialed in with the auto. So there's nothing fancy. There's no line lock. I don't have a trans brake on this thing. So it's gonna be a little bit of playing around to get a good 60 foot on this thing, but really happy with it. I was aiming for 600 to 650 wheel. I knew that I wouldn't be able to do that with the Nismo 740s reliably, and I didn't want to go to the trouble of doing a top feed conversion with just a week to go for the track event. So did the AUS thousands, and yeah, I'm really, really stoked. Hopefully we'll run mid to low 10s is the goal out of this thing. So we'll see. All right, so here's our before and after. 7 years ago on the Sport 500s, only difference is our 2530s, and we've got almost our full inlet pipe kit. So before we had kind of like a really old archaic version of the inlet pipe kit, and that's it. E85, everything else is the same. We got rid of the MAFs. Isn't gonna be a dramatic difference, but it is gonna be able to pull air a little more freely through there. But this is the really cool part about it, is we've gone to a considerably larger turbo, and we've not hurt the bottom end really. You can see it's making a little bit, but I'm talking maybe a couple of horsepower. You wouldn't even notice that below 3,300 RPM. And even though our Sport 500s are making more boost in the entire area, all the way up until about 4,400 RPM, we're able to make more power. So we've not taken a hit to our response. When you do all the breather stuff, it really makes this size turbo just really work well matched to the engine. So your 2860 RS they don't make 2530s anymore. So, but essentially the 2860 RS, the Gen 1 GTX version of it, and the Gen 2 GTX version of it. So this is a really old school version, and we are just making more bottom end power. Of course, we're able to make more boost. You can see these Sport 500s, because of how small they are, they just run out at the top. It's just can't make the boost, right? So it was already struggling to make 19, almost 20 pounds of boost at redline. With these, no issue, just holding boost nice and flat. These turbos can keep on going. With our Haltech, we've got our boost dialed in right where we want it based on engine speed, and we've peaked about 28 pounds of boost, give or take a pound or so. I think our Haltech was reading somewhere around 27 peak boost. And just look at all this meat that we've got. So 664 wheel at 6,300 RPM, and we're making 623 foot-pounds of torque at 4,700 RPM. All on a stock engine. We'll go take this thing to the track and do a little bit of test and tuning, play around with our settings for our launch to see how we can do. It's all gonna come down really to the track and our launch. We're gonna run this on a set of 16-inch Hoosier R2s. So it'll be my first time out. I mean, I haven't gone out to the track in close to 12 years at least, maybe 13. So it'll be exciting to get out there again. Yeah, looking forward to it.